So today we are going to study about the effect called to be thermoelectric effect. Already we have studied about the thermal effect of electrical current. What do you mean by this thermal effect of electrical current? The electrical energy converted into heat energy, which we are calling it out as the thermal effect of electrical current. Is the reverse effect possible? And it was studied by a scientist called to be Thomas Johann Seebeck. And he found out that the reverse effect of the thermal effect of electrical current, where thermal energy can get converted into electrical energy. When thermal energy is converted into electrical energy, then that effect we are calling it out as thermoelectric effect. So when thermal energy converted into electrical energy, we are calling it out as the thermoelectric effect, and that was studied in the year 1832 or in 1834. Correct. So it was Thomas Johann Seebeck who found out this effect called to be thermoelectric effect or Seebeck effect. For that, we have to consider a device called to be thermocouple. What is a thermocouple? We have to consider two dissimilar metals, and the two dissimilar metals are joined together to form two junctions. Then that arrangement is called to be thermocouple. For example, I have taken copper and iron as two different metals. You can also consider bismuth and antimony. Similarly, you can consider lead and bismuth. Any two elements, any two dissimilar elements can be taken. And these two dissimilar metals are joined together in such a way that two junctions are being formed. I have taken one of the junction as A and another junction as B. And the two dissimilar metals considered are copper and iron. Now, when the junctions of these thermocouple are kept at two different temperatures, usually one at a lower temperature taken to be cold junction, and another one considered to be at a higher temperature called to be the hot junction. If the junctions of the thermocouple are placed at the two junctions, and across that, if a galvanometer is connected, then from the deflection produced in the galvanometer, we can able to say, is there any flow of electrical current or not? Now it was found out that when the junctions are placed at two different temperatures, there is a deflection produced in the galvanometer, which indicates that there is a flow of electrical current. That current produced is called to be thermoelectric current, and the EMF that was being developed across the two junctions is called to be thermoelectric EMF, and the process of developing or producing this thermoelectric EMF or the current is called to be thermoelectric effect, or otherwise it is called as Seebeck effect. So we can say when the junctions of the thermocouple are placed at two different temperatures, across the junction there is a flow of electrical current. That current is called to be thermoelectric current. The EMF developed is thermoelectric EMF, and the process of developing that current or EMF using the two different temperatures and the two different metals is called to be thermoelectric effect, or otherwise called to be Seebeck effect. The experiment was repeated by interchanging the hot junction and the cold junction. When the hot junction and the cold junction are interchanged in the junctions A and B, it was found out that again an thermoelectric current or EMF is developed, indicated by the deflection in the galvanometer. But the deflection in the galvanometer is just opposite to that of the previous case, which indicates that the direction of the flow of electrical current get reversed when the junctions are also getting reversed, which indicates that Seebeck effect is an reversible effect. Now, by repeating the experiment, it was concluded that the thermoelectric effect or the thermoelectric EMF developed depends upon two factors. One is the nature of the metals used for constructing the thermocouple. The second one is the difference between the two temperature, or the difference in the temperature of the two junctions. As the temperature of the two junctions go on increases, it was found out that the thermoelectric EMF produced also go on increases. This effect, we are calling it out as thermoelectric effect, or otherwise called to be Seebeck effect. Okay. See, what are the different applications of Seebeck? In our book, they have discussed about 3 applications. The first one is, it is used in the power plants where large amount of heat energy is found to get wasted. There they are able to develop a generator called to be thermoelectric generator. The large amount of heat energy developed from the power plants are used as one of the junction, and the other junction is considered to be a room temperature or a cold junction. So when the junctions are used to keep the two junctions of the thermocouple, an electric current can be generated, what we are calling it out as thermoelectric generators. And this thermoelectric generators can be otherwise named as automotive generators, which is used in automobiles to increase the fuel efficiency. And the more number of thermocouples can be collected to form a thermopile, an arrangement called to be thermopile. See, thermopile means we can say it out as collection of thermocouples. See, the thermopiles are used to measure the temperature at some particular point, or we can able to find the temperature difference in between 2 points in different objects. That we are calling it out as some of the applications of thermocouple. So these are the things that are being given in your book. But when you are considering this thermo-EMF, thermocouple or Seebeck effect, apart from this, we have to study about some more concepts. How the thermo-EMF varies with temperature, that should be studied and related with thermo-EMF. For that, I have considered the junctions of the thermocouple placed at 2 different temperatures. One of the junction, I have taken it out as ice, taken to be the cold junction. Another one, I have taken it as water, which is heated. So this junction, we are calling it out as the hot junction. By gradually increasing the heat energy, the temperature of the water is gradually increased, so that the difference between the hot junction and the cold junction is found to be gradually increased. Experimentally, it was found out that as the temperature go on increases, then the thermoelectric EMF produced also go on increases. So we can study a relationship between the temperature and the thermo EMF. What I have taken, I have drawn a graph between the thermo EMF developed in the thermocouple and the difference in temperature. See, the nature of the graph is as shown in the figure. One of the point I have represented it as OA and another one OB and OBC. See, for a small difference between the hot junction and cold junction, the nature of the graph is a straight line, the first point. For a small variation in temperature, and the temperature difference between the hot junction and the cold junction is small, then the nature of the graph is a straight line, which indicates that the graph is a linear graph. That is, as the temperature increases, correspondingly EMF also increases. But it is not the case if the difference in temperature is large. If the difference in temperature is large, then the nature of the graph is an parabola. Very important one-word question. So as the temperature go on increases, what happens? As the temperature of the hot junction go on increases, the thermo EMF also gradually increases, and it reaches a maximum thermo EMF at one particular temperature called to be Tn, known as the neutral temperature. So Tn, the neutral temperature, is defined as the temperature of the hot junction at which, for a given thermocouple, the thermo EMF developed is maximum. Then, if you are increasing the temperature of the hot junction of the thermocouple beyond the neutral temperature, the thermo EMF developed gradually decreases and it becomes 0 at another one particular temperature called to be inversion temperature. So inversion temperature represented as Ti. That inversion temperature is the temperature of the hot junction beyond the neutral temperature, at which the thermo EMF becomes zero. When you are considering the neutral temperature, here I have written the neutral temperature is a constant for a given thermocouple. It is a constant for a given thermocouple means when you are changing the thermocouple, then only neutral temperature will change. Otherwise, it is a constant. But the inversion temperature depends upon the cold junction temperature. When the cold junction temperature is not 0 degree, if it is changed, then inversion temperature will also get changed. And by repeating the experiment, it was found out that the inversion temperature is as high from the neutral temperature as the cold junction temperature is below to it. That is, difference between neutral temperature and the cold junction temperature is equal to difference between inversion temperature and neutral temperature. So I can write Tn minus Tc is equal to Tn minus Tn. On simplifying this, I can get 2Tn, twice that of neutral temperature is equal to sum of inversion temperature and cold junction temperature. Or I can write Tn is equal to Ti plus Tc by 2. This relation called to be the relationship between cold junction, the cold junction temperature, neutral temperature, and inversion temperature. So all these we are calling it out as the Seebeck effect. Hope you should have understood this concept.